So I have to admit, I'm a little bit of a history buff. But history is important because it explains how we won our freedom for the United States, what we did to protect our freedom over the years, and how we lost our freedom in time. So it's very important that we educate our children on American history so that they can learn about these concepts and they can grow up to help maybe make our country a little better someday. Being a little boy, Benjamin loves little war stories and things like that. And so reenactments and things along those lines are just great educational environments for him. And when you go to those, it's not just learning about the battles, but you're learning about the lifestyles of people back in that day. Now, the Alston house is not Civil War, it's actually Revolutionary War. And during that time frame, basically the history behind the Alston house is it was owned by Senator Phillip Alston. He was a colonist, he was a Whig, and they were against the Loyalists, the Loyalists supported the Crown. So in the Revolutionary War, those were your two sides. And Phillip Alston was in the process of building a militia. And in 1781, his house was attacked. And it was a situation where I think the attackers figured it was just going to be Phillip Alston and his family in the home. Phillip Alston actually had in the home with his family members that he had been recruiting for this colonial militia. So when the Loyalists attacked his house, they had a little bit of a surprise. That is, that there was a small army inside the house willing to fight back.
Yep.
Alston ended up losing the battle. It was a win for the Loyalists, but it was an interesting battle nonetheless. It wasn't a huge monumentary thing in the Revolutionary War, but it's a big part of the history in our area. And the house itself is kind of an architectural gem. I mean, it's an absolutely beautiful estate. It was back in the day and it is still now. The Alston House each year hosts a reenactment of the Battle on the Horseshoe, which some of those small skirmish battles are actually kind of fun to watch the reenactments. But the Alston House this weekend was having kind of an event where they had different vendors out there, different people practicing crafts from the time period. So because he likes going to the reenactment so much, I decided I would take him out there to kind of experience the other parts of the Alston House that are fun and the things that went on in that time of history. One of the things that Ben absolutely enjoyed was learning about the old games that kids used to play back then. That was before they sat on couches and exercised their fingers. Back then they actually had things like pickup sticks to catch the ball in the little cup thingy. They had the loop thingy with the sticks. You can tell I didn't play these games when I was a kid, but I still think they're cool games and I want my kids to learn how to play outdoors. Another thing that Ben really liked was the blacksmiths, because the blacksmiths were set up and they were forging small tools like forks and things, and then they had a hand crank blower that they were trying to get the coals to light with. And I could tell you this, if I asked Ben to go out in the yard and pick up pine cones, he'd look at me like I was crazy. But you give him a chore at an event like that and he goes nuts. I mean, I could not get Ben to stop cranking that thing.
This is always dead coal, so everything that was in it worth burning is gone.
Yeah. But Ben did not want to give up. He just kept cranking away. The only thing that pulled Ben away from that crank blower was the cannon demonstration. Now this was cool. There's nothing more cool than seeing guys dressed up in period clothing reenacting something. But what they actually did this time was they walked us through and explained to us all about these 3-pound cannons that were used during the colonial period. Why they were important, how they were fashioned, what made them lighter weight, and how they were used. The interesting thing that I learned was that these cannons could actually be fired at a faster rate than somebody firing a rifle. Now that's kind of scary if you're walking across a field and one side has cannons and the other side doesn't. The side with the cannons can shoot almost double as fast as the side with only guns. So to end this video, we'd like to just kind of show you these reenactors and the great job they did explaining how these cannons work.
A 3-pound cannon, it shoots a 3-pound cannonball. This is actually an exact reproduction of the cannons that were first developed in 1773 by the British, sent over here. 80 of them were sent over here during the American Revolution. They were poured by the Verbuggin brothers. It's a reduced barrel. It's a 200-pound barrel versus the standard 3-pounder, which is almost a 400-pound barrel. It was designed for use over here in the colonies because we did not have roads. We did not have any open spaces like you see here in the colonies at the time. And so they needed a smaller gun. But this cannon does not shoot explosive projectiles. None of the guns during the age of what they call a smoothbore artillery, which is up to fired explosive projectiles out of cannons. But they would shoot be solid shot, and that would be the classification of the cannon. 3-pound solid shot's a 3-pound cannon. 6-pound, a 6-pounder. 8-pounder, an 8-pounder. This one's a 3-pounder. Or they shot grape shot or canister shot, which basically turned it into a shotgun. Equivalent would be, if you're familiar with shotguns, cannonballs, slug, buckshots, grape shot, and bird shots or canister shot. This gun, this particular gun shoots just under a mile. I mean, just under half a mile. The standard 3-pounder shoots about a mile, but you did not have that kind of range in the colonies. They weren't concerned about range. They were concerned about firepower you get out of a 3-pound. And when you have visibilities of 300 to 400 yards max, you don't need the range, you just need the volume. So this one, it would start shooting cannonballs about half-mile out. You drop cannonballs into the enemy troops. They would start inflicting casualties. As they got within 600 to 800 yards, they switched over to grape shot, 4 to 6, canister shot, and then on in. Without any further ado, I'm going to talk about how this gun is fired, and I can actually answer any detailed artillery questions afterwards. First thing you do, you notice you fire it, you got to make sure there's no debris in the barrel, so the charge can go in the barrel. So we have this thing that's called the wad hook. Hold up the wad. And he'll send that down the barrel, make sure there's no debris left in the barrel from the shot. Advance warm, search peace! Once we've assured there's no debris left in the barrel after the shot, there still could be a burning ember. And if we slide a bag of powder down on the burning ember, what's going to happen? It's going to go off, and we're going to shoot a ramrod and an arm downrange. Well, we're not in the business of shooting ramrods and arms. We want to shoot cannonballs and grape shot and canister shot. So we have this thing that looks like Paul Bunyan's Q-tip. It's called the sponge. It's been moistened in water and it's slid down the barrel to extinguish any embers that are left in the barrel. Fast sponge time, fast sponge, peace! Alright, now the gun is cleared and ready to be loaded. If you notice back here, we have a box standing back here. This is by design. This box actually has the powder or shot fixed to powder. The boxes on the other side of the gun merely have cannonballs and grape shot and canister shot in it. The reason being, if this explodes, we just lose him. And I don't know what he's doing, but we'll lose him too, apparently. And they're kind of expected. We don't mind losing. Well, the key thing is we do not lose the cannon and the cannon crew. If this blows up, we just lose him. But on the command and handle cartridge, he will run a cartridge forward. Load. And we'll ram it. We have to use a rammer to slide it down the barrel to the breech of the gun. It is a muzzle loader. Ram the cartridge. Now we have a charge in the back of the barrel, and we have a touch hole. Well, right now it's still in a bag, so we have to pierce that bag, and we use this thing called a vet prick, and he'll slide down the touch hole, pierce the charge, and then he'll prime it. By pouring powder, in this case using the touch, we pour powder out of a powder horn. We're not going to use a powder horn because OSHA doesn't like it. So we've got pre-made charges. So pick a prime. And they would prime it. At that point, this man here is called a linstock. Hold it up, please. And on that's called a slow match. It's impregnated with several different chemical mixtures. One is black powder and urea, and it burns like a hot cigar tip. And he will take that ember and he will touch that directly into the powder, igniting the powder in the prime, burns down the touch hole, ignites the charge, and sets it off. The whole while this is going on, the gunner will be adjusting his windage and his elevation prior to giving the command to fire. And once he's satisfied, the command to make ready, fire. He will ignite the prime, burn down, set off the cannon. All right, now this time we're going to shoot off one more round, so we'll make another boom, so be prepared. We will shoot it blank, and we've got the guy coming. Every time we get ready to shoot, he drives his truck by. I think we should just shoot a hole in them. You got them stopped?
Yeah. Stop. You can aim it right at him.
Okay, go ahead. All right, have a care. Fast one, certain feet. Fast one, 10 feet. Handle cartridge. Let's go. See, he's expendable. We have to tolerate him all the time. Whoa! Red! Try! Fire! All right, let's go make a pop again. Ready! Fire! Nice work, Sergeant Peace! Alright, you don't get 10, we're not going to shoot it again. Don't worry about it. Put up, let's stop. Now, then we'll be done. A good crew can shoot 10 shots a minute. A good musketman, a real good musketman, can shoot between 2 and 3 shots a minute. Why can you shoot a cannon faster than a musketman?
I can shoot 5 shots a minute.
Well, then there's some guys that can shoot 13 in the cannon. But the reason being is, you think of it like a race car. A race car goes into pit stop. You got 2 cars. Musketman car, cannon man car. Musketman drives into the pit stop. He has to get out. He has to get his gas. He has to change his tires. He's got to clean his windshield. And then he's got to get back in, start his car, and leave. That man pulls into the pit stop. He's got a crew doing everything at once, and he's out. That's why you can shoot a cannon faster than a musket. And with every shot being 36 musket balls. So what's 10 times 36? It's a real easy math, 360. Musket balls a minute spraying out of that thing. That's why artillery was classified as king of the battle. All right, any general questions at all about artillery of the age of smoothbore artillery since we're going into the 19th century, early 19th century?
Yeah.
No questions. You have any questions? None whatsoever. Even something crazy. He's just going to sit there and smile with your sword. I like the sword. He's a pirate. He's got a hook too. Arrgh. All right. Give it a hand. Well, they're gone.
I hope you had fun watching this video, and if anything, I hope it encourages you to take your kids to learn a little bit about American history.